Assalamu alaikum, dear listeners. Thank you for joining us today. We are continuing our Q&A series with Sheikh Mujtaba here. And the topic or the question for discussion here is temporary marriage, also known as mut'ah, still relevant today? What are the conditions and or misconceptions about this? Inshallah, we'll turn to Sheikh to enlighten us on this.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله وسلم على سيدنا ونبينا محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين اللهم صل على محمد وعلى فرجه. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Once again, thank you again for all your efforts facilitating this and those participating with us. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala increase us in knowledge and action, inshallah. The issue of temporary marriage, or otherwise known as mut'ah. In terms of the simple answer to the question, the common statement that we often say in jurisprudence is whatever the Prophet of Islam made permissible is permissible until the day of judgment. That is the meaning of the seal of prophets, the final messenger. His religion is applicable until the day of judgment, and whatever he's made forbidden is forbidden until the day of judgment. So it is permissible, and it is not just the way we see it is that whatever he made permissible and is a ruling, therefore it is relevant, and society may change, and that does not mean that it nullifies or basically changes the rules, because the certain things are there in human nature and needs and so on, and so it continues to be relevant and permissible. Now, what is it and why is it permissible? Very, very brief terms. Is it an alternative, or is it the actual, is it considered an actual path that people should take besides, obviously, the path of being married in a normal marriage with no term? Because the difference between it and the normal marriage is the term that is set, the time that is set. So one may ask the question, why is it permissible in the first place? And why is it legitimized in Islam? And how is it better, or why would it be better, or is it in any way better than the regular marriage? Quran is very clear on the fact that whoever is unable to marry, then this is the option. Okay, so if we just look at Quran by itself, it is an option for those who are unable to get married. And so it is definitely an alternative when marriage, the regular marriage, the non-termed, non-timed marriage, is not available for whatever reason it might be. So there are sometimes issues of financial restrictions. Okay, one is unable to take on the responsibility of marriage financially and maintain, a house with the expenses and so on and so forth, and therefore they decide to go for a temporary marriage. Again, one may ask, okay, why would anyone agree to that? Okay, whether it be the girl, or let's say the guy is unable to, because the guy in Islam is responsible for the expenses of his wife, his spouse. So he marries her, he has to provide a house or a living place, and provide whether it be a room, a house, shared accommodation, whatever it is. He has to provide that, and he has to provide the expenses. And let's say he's not able to do that. Why would she agree? it also could be circumstantial, that she is, um, let's say she's been married before, she doesn't want to get married and commit to a marriage now, whatever circumstances she may have. So again, it could be relevant, and it avoids committing adultery. Okay, so what happens often when this is not available and marriage is not available, people end up committing adultery, which is unfortunately very, very common in today's society. So it definitely is relevant, it is needed. Now, the rules of it, what we need to understand is that it has rules just like marriage. It's not a case of, God forbid, prostitution, for instance. It's not a case of, just legitimizing casual relationships and moving from one person to another and so on and so forth. It's none of that. It is like a marriage with the condition is, one condition is that she cannot be married and she cannot be in her iddah, for example. Okay, so some of the things that people don't understand is that in marriage, whether it be temporary or permanent, not only should she not be in a relationship or in marriage, she should have also observed her iddah, the waiting period after a marriage. Okay, after a marriage is dissolved, divorced, whatever, finished, if it was timed, and so on. So there is a waiting period. She has to finish that, and then she can marry in permanent or temporary. Okay, neither of them. So it has that condition. That is one condition. Another condition is that he has to provide the mahar, and they have to set the time. Okay, so he provide a dower, a gift that he would gift her, and set the time that they would be married to one another, and therefore committed to one another. Okay, it's not like, okay, now I have this and I can still have other. No, that's not how it works. So it's not that neither casual, relationships, no prostitution. It is a marriage. That's the only difference is it is timed because he's not able to commit and fulfill the requirements of having a regular marriage where he has to provide a place, shelter, and provide, all her needs. So that is in terms of the rules or conditions. Obviously, there are other rules in terms of the uttering of the contract and so on and so forth. In terms of the common misconceptions. So one of the things is that is it only for men? Okay, what's that? No, it's both parties who are in those circumstances. Okay, so if a guy is in those circumstances and a girl is in those circumstances that they're not able to marry somebody permanently in a regular marriage, this is the route that they would take. Are there no responsibilities? Okay, so it's like no responsibility whatsoever. No, that's not correct either. So there are also some responsibilities that they have towards one another besides the fulfillment of their needs in that department based on whatever they agree upon. Okay, so they may agree. You might say, well, he is not responsible for shelter or food and so on. No, that is not default. Okay, so in a regular marriage, by default, he is responsible for all of this. If he's not able to commit to that, he can commit to something. Okay, so in some cases, he may commit to a certain amount a month that he would participate in terms of the shelter, or in terms of her place to stay, or in terms of her food and her bills, or so on and so forth. So it is. It can have obviously responsibilities. Some of them are by default, others by conditions. And again, we said, why is it allowed? Simply, and why would it be allowed? Simply to avoid adultery and to make sure that there is a route besides the regular marriage if that is not available. So if the regular marriage is available, that is the best route, and that's what people should go for. If that is not the case, then this would be the second option. I don't know if there are any other questions or issues that, again, this is in brief. If there is any other questions, any concerns, any recommendations or comments, please feel free to share them and we'll address them to the best of our ability. Thank you again for your participation. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. Sallallahu alaihi wa sallam. Muhammad wa alihi tayyibin tahirin.